2022 Yamaha Tracer 9 GT. I've always been a fan of the Yamaha Tracer range, whether the 700 or the 900. Some of you might remember our long-term MT-07 Tracer, which was a fantastic bike that, despite being LAMS approved, well and truly punched above its weight. It's a rare bike that seemed to be able to do anything. And that has always been one feature of the Tracer models that make them so appealing to so many riders, the triple's versatility and also their simplicity. Hop on, hit start, and ride off happy. When Yamaha released details about the 2021 model Tracer 9 GT updates, formerly the Tracer 900 GT, my first thought was, please don't make a good simple bike too complicated and high-tech. However, after seeing through some of the technical updates, read about them in the tech breakout, I could see the bones of the bike were still that raw, engaging, and down-to-earth machine that is still an extension of the stunning MT-09. Check out our MT-09 review here. The testing proved that correct. The price hike over the previous generation is something I need to mention. The outgoing Yamaha Tracer 900 GT was $20,349 RA, and the new Tracer 9 GT is some $3,650 more. For that, you are getting the much higher tech electronic suite including cornering traction control system, TCS, slide control system, SCS, lift control system, LEAF, and cornering ABS, BC. You also get the new split-screen dash with regular main info on the left and a customizable quadrant on the right, new CP3 motor and all-new chassis, and more, so it is quite a lot of bang for buck, remembering it is quite the premium model for a Japanese sports tourer. I love the riding position of the Tracer 9 GT. At 187 centimeters tall, it suits me perfectly, and with the adjustable screen, I was always able to find a comfortable setting, and I had the seat on the tallest setting, 825mm v 810mm. I had the foot pegs at the lowest point, they can go up 14mm and back 4mm, and the handlebars in the standard spot, they can rotate up and down, back and forth. It's a very adjustable bike for rider ergonomics, rider triangle, a big bonus. The seat is broad, comfortable for a few hours, and the pillion seat is generous, plus the large grab rails are great. The pillion pegs are not rubber damped and the panniers limit legroom, but Heather found the Tracer a very comfy pillioning machine when we were cruising or really fanging it. It's a great two-up option, with a good height difference for a forward view for the passenger. The panniers make swinging a leg over the bike a real challenge, though, so I had to hold the front brake and step onboard via a foot peg each time I hopped on or off. The handlebars are wide and a relaxed reach, but my knees do not quite fit into the shape of the fuel tank frame. With the foot pegs on the lower spot, they do touch down, but it's good warning they well on the limit of the Batlax T32 tires, which offer good feel and grip for a sports touring tire that is more touring than sports. The levers are slim and comfy, with span adjustment both sides, while the switches are standard big capacity MT range kit, which work well, but I did have a few issues with the scroll wheel click not registering from time to time when selecting dash menu options. Speaking of levers, clutch take-up is abrupt and in the last few of lever travel, with a lot of RPM required to prevent stalling. It's something that became a little annoying, having to ride the bike like a two-stroke at low speed to avoid a guaranteed stall, and the clutch action seemed inconsistent too in take-up point, so I reckon I stalled it over a dozen times while I had the bike. It could have been an issue with our press bike. The GT takes full advantage of that cracking CP3 motor, which is totally revised and smoother, more refined and mature than previously. Although it does lack some of the same raw punch and acceleration of the MT-09, it makes linear, progressive and strong power through the reverend range, and although it won't win any drag championships, it is characterful, purposeful, and it sounds fantastic. I really don't know how Yamaha get away with their awesome exhaust notes. The Tracer cracks, crackles and rumbles, it doesn't need a slip-on at all. The gearbox is a gem, the up and down quickshifter is smooth, accurate and fun, and fueling is good. There are multiple modes, with preset mode 1 through 4, the first 3 offering full power but varying levels of delivery and electronic control, the 4th basically a rain map. Their 4 modes also have their own presets for cornering traction control system, TCS, slide control system, SCS, lift control system, LEAF, and cornering ABS, BC. Plus there is a customizable option I did not try, where you can switch off the TCS, SCS or LEAF system should you want to have a bit of fun. I spent 99% of the test in Mode 2, which gives full power but a smoother throttle than the snappy Mode 1. The electronics presets worked well and suited everything from urban riding to full-on scratching up on my local twisties. Although it is more sensible than it was, I prefer this version of the CP3 in the Tracer, as it is just easier to push hard and the chassis remains balanced in part due to the more linear power deliver. It's a good engine package, no doubt about it, and smooth. 4,500 revolutions per minute at 110 km per hour on cruise is a place you could sit vibe-free all day long. Now for the chassis. The KYB setup is simple. There are only 2 settings and no custom options. A1 is for sporty riding and smooth roads, A2 is general use. The forks are electronically controlled for both rebound and compression damping, the shock only for rebound. There is no rear compression adjustment available, while both ends have manual preload. The chassis is born from the MT-09 with some tweaks including a longer swing arm, check the tech breakout. The package is a match made in heaven, and in almost all situations I found myself in on the Tracer 9 GT, it came out on top. In Mode A2 the suspension is plush and relaxed, but supportive enough to keep the chassis balanced and steering accurate. The forks will soak up bumps and road irregularities like a knife through butter but start pushing harder and support arrives when you need it. It remains soft, but that suits the machine and means sporty riding is possible without having your teeth rattle out. At the back, there is less control, however, it's good enough and even with loaded panniers and pillion, the bike won't buck and weave until really pushed hard through the twisties. I added a touch more preload both ends, I'm 95 kilograms, and it worked a treat. A1 I found too stiff for all but completely smooth hot mix, but even then, I preferred A2, it is more predictable, consistent and has better front-end feel than A1. That brings me to the brakes, the only area of the Tracer 9 GT that left me wanting more. The linked system that incorporates corporate's cornering ABS has 2 settings, BC1 and BC2. BC1 is the normal ABS setting while BC2 is more sensitive. I left it in BC1 almost all of the time. I found both settings interfered a little too much with my braking and overall the braking performance was on the lower side, with a big squeeze needed. Bigger rotors and non-linked brakes would help solve it. The Tracer 9 GT will stop, but there are times when the intervention comes in too early, causing a bit of a heart rate increase. And the linked brakes, well, I've never been a fan on any bike. But the brakes are not a deal breaker, as they do get the job done and are easily forgiven thanks to the rest of the bike.